Special guest in the booth. Hey, Doc, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
Are you used to people calling you Doc yet?
Oh, for a while, yeah. I had my doctorate back in 23, so a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What a great day.
Yeah. You must be exhausted.
A little bit. But it's a good day for American Bocce, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is for sure. Well represented.
Yeah.
Looks like our practice frames have ended.
All right.
Handshakes and hugs, and then we'll be underway with the finals. Shortly here, we will be joined, of course, Dr. John Liberto here is the president, our new president of the USBF, and we will be joined momentarily by the president of the Canadian Bocce Association, Mr. Alberto Guererra.
Very good. This is going to be a great finals match. That's coming out.
Absolutely. For now, let's send it down to court 10. Actually, Palazzo, I was going to say, I'm going to hope the Palazzo is still green so I don't have to change it. It probably will be because Billy's got his new fancy red balls. So, yeah, you are very familiar with these St. Louis guys, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Emo's Pizza, Nick Emo, and that's Vince Mancuso right there coming out of the IABC in St. Louis. Fantastic players. On the opposite side, of course, Bill Barnett from the East Coast.
Seneca Falls, New York.
Seneca Falls, that's it.
Shout out to Seneca Falls.
There you go. Got an Ohio guy on the other side, too, with Brian Polans. Fantastic players. Absolutely. And Palazzo being the home team, of course, with Pat, is a great team.
A little bit long to open the game from Hunter Galero. So for those of you who didn't hear, Emo's Pizza is undefeated. Palazzo will have to beat him twice. Probably a more accurate representation of that dynamic is Emo's Pizza will have 2 chances at beating Palazzo.
Other way around.
No, they have to beat him once. They'll have 2.
Palazzo needs to win twice.
Right.
Yeah.
But Emo's Pizza will have
only one.
Two tries to win
Palazzo. Copy.
It's kind of a biased way to put it.
I like it.
It's a realistic way to present it, right?
That's right.
Anybody who can beat Jose. Speaking of anybody who can beat Jose.
Yep.
Here he is.
Here's my compatriot. A little heavy.
Mr. President, how are you?
Good, good.
You're in much more positive spirits than I would be after I get knocked out of a tournament.
Well, listen, it was a long day, and we did our qualifications, which was very interesting, very nice games that we were able to view, and it went the way it went.
So, Albert, why don't you introduce yourself to the folks at home who haven't had the pleasure of making your acquaintance.
I'm Alberto Guererra, president of the Canadian Bocce Association. We are obviously based in Quebec and in Ontario. We've been part of the CBI since 1983, one of the founding federations along with the US. And
Really?
Bocce goes back a long way in Canada and the US. We're proud of what we're doing. And we're looking forward to continuing this. Hopefully we'll get some agreement with the CBI so we can get our position back amongst the members.
How many founding nations were there in the CBI?
Initially there were 8 founding nations, I believe.
What were those 8? U.S., Canada?
U.S., Canada, Switzerland, Italy, China.
China, yeah.
Yeah, China was one of the founding countries, and I don't remember the other two.
So you've been president now for 2 years, correct?
Been president for 2 years. I was vice president for 4 years before this.
And what role does the CBA, it's not the federation, right? It's the association?
Well, it's a long story. We had a federation, actually it was a Canadian Bocce Federation, and for various reasons the name got changed. The Canadian Bocce Association. The Canadian Bocce Association is the one that's affiliated to the CBA. Canadian Bocce Federation itself, as per se, no longer exists.
Okay. What role does the CBA play in the sport in Canada? What are your main focuses, I guess?
Our mission is, and I've been working at this now for a few years, is to get the young generation in it. We did some programs with the high schools, and this year we did a bocce camp with 80 kids from the age of 6 to 12 years old, which lasted a week. It was introduction to bocce. They enjoyed it. We're looking forward to continuing this. We also have some youngsters age 15 to 17 that we're trying to prepare for the U21 competitions at the World. They've been at it maybe for about a year, so they still got a lot, to capture, and hopefully they'll be ready for the next Worlds. But our focus is mainly on developing the sport, younger generation, because we had a big group of bocce players back in the 80s and 90s. We were about 1,500, playing bocce, and we'd say we had about 500 members, which has now been reduced significantly. So that's why we're working on the younger people to get them on board.
And as part of your approach for that, introducing people to what you would call full rules through open bocce?
Yeah, I think what's happened is in the past, the Federation, I think, overlooked or wanted to go straight to the PRV, and I think it's the wrong approach. So what we're planning on doing, we shifted our focus on getting into the Open, and then gradually getting players from the Open into the PRV.
And I think that's part of the nuanced vision that you bring to the USBF, right, John?
It is. It's refreshing to hear Alberto say that, because I think, particularly in America, Open is the predominant modality that's played here. 75 to 80% of American players are playing Open. And in fact, most American-born PRV players grew through Open. So for us, it's organic in the sense that as we grow Open, we grow our stable of PRV players. And just by looking at the players in this tournament this weekend, Open is strong in America, which of course brings about growth toward PRV.
As far as the USBF is concerned, what are the first steps for your organization? You just became president in June, correct?
Correct. So I just became president in June.
You hit the ground running.
We sure did. We did hit the ground running. So first order of business was reaching out to all of our USBF members, along with non-USBF members, to solicit input on ways that we can strengthen the Federation and the American Bocce experience. I think the Federation needs to be a more inclusive tent for Open Bocce, as it is for PRV and all of our RAFA players. So we're making strides in that front, and then we're also finding ways that we can grow Open through our partnership with Canada, which I think that relationship is extremely important for us, not just in an international sense with CBI and what we do on the RAFA front, but also through the Open front and as they're growing. So there's some exciting things on the horizon between CBA and the USBF, but most of all for all Open players.
And what does that look like? And I'm curious to hear both your perspective as far as the CBA and the USBF working together in the future. What, you know, I have a few questions on that front. A bit like what do both organizations? What are the strengths of both organizations? Kind of what do both organizations bring to the table? How can things? What can we do to help each other grow things faster? It seems like there's a lot of opportunity for collaboration, especially if the seat of the CBA is in Montreal and a lot of the players in Montreal, Toronto, and it just so happens that a lot of the more popular regions for Bocce in this country are pretty close to those areas. So we do have the good fortune of that proximity, and actually decades of, what a shot from Jose, decades of competing against each other. Like we figured out earlier that I think I probably played against you when I was a teenager in upstate New York. But so we'll start with you, John. What does that look like, the CBA and the USBF working together?
So I think the word collaboration is impactful, because for us, I see this as let's take a step back. When we think about open bocce, we can also eliminate a very significant barrier that keeps some of our clubs in this country that don't particularly participate in PRV or even USBF members from being a part of the USBF, and that's always been court dimensions and style. So a collaborative relationship with Canada can look like building a set of unified open rules and not being constrained by an 86-foot by 12-foot court, or being constrained by a synthetic surface. So if your club plays on hard true, or they play on dirt, or they're 70 by 12, we could still hold some type of qualifier that could lead toward a mutual North American tournament centered solely on open, which I think helps not just the United States continue to build our stable of open players and the strengths we have in open, but also helps promote open in Canada and provides for an opportunity to play American players, whether they be in any region of the United States.
And it's all very complementary, right? The more you promote open in Canada, the more newer players you funnel into the sport. What would you say, your perspective on the cooperation between the two entities?
I was looking probably to organize a open tournament, which we've never done in Montreal, probably next year.
Yeah.
So I'm to schedule a meeting with Alex and see if that's a possibility to bring the ABC to Montreal. We have three fantastic venues.
What are they?
Synthetic courts.
What are they called there?
There's the Leonardo da Vinci Center, which is the biggest center. You have a capacity of about 1,000 places for spectators. We have another venue, which is the Rivière de Paris venue, which is capacity probably around 300 spectators. We're resurfacing the courts in RDP. That's guaranteed. We'll be done probably in October or November. In the Leonardo da Vinci Center, we're in talks, but nothing has been confirmed. We might get those resurfaced as well. Then we have the Lake Orion Center, which is 4 courts, which some of the American players have already been there for the North American Cup last year. So we have 3 venues there. We'd like to probably put together a 32-team open on synthetic courts next year, if possible. And then after that, we'll talk with John about scheduling the North American or the qualifiers probably for the Worlds next year. In doubles, I believe, for the men's, doubles for the women, probably the mixed for the mixed competition. So having said all this, I would see this expanding, not only getting one team from Canada, one team from U.S. I'd see more like having four teams and 4 teams on each side of the border. So this way, you have more participants, make it a bigger tournament. And at the same time, we can also have an open tournament, and to grow it in this way. So, if we're going to North American, we can have the North American PRV and the North American Open probably at the same time. So that's what we'll probably start planning as of January.
And would you have I mean, obviously there's a lot of planning and things to work out. Would the idea be so you'd have to compete kind of the way that nationals works? The Americans compete against each other for a spot to represent the U.S.
Yeah, we would do
in
the
an
same
open.
thing.
Yep.
That's exciting. I'm sure a lot of people are.
But what's also promising on that front is that we're not just guaranteeing a sole winner. We're looking at expanding that field for both American and Canadian players to where possibly you take the top 4 or even the top 8 and bring them to a Canadian venue, or you bring them to an American venue. Fantastic ball by Jason. Yeah, great shot.
I got to say, Billy did hit a great shot a couple frames ago, and if I don't say anything, he's gonna give me some crap. So
Bill's a good guy. But on that note, I digress that we can expand and include more open players that can represent our mutual countries in international play, which I think is exciting on the open front.
Yes. I'm really impressed with the amount of younger people playing here. I haven't been to the Open. I think it's this is my second year that I started. I've been missing out for 15 years or so, but I'm really glad, because when we used to go to the Worlds in the past, USA was always the oldest country representing at the Worlds.
really,
And now we have a lot of young people I see here.
Great youth infusion.
Great youth in the future, and we're hopefully trying. Now we've become practically the older country, and we're trying to rejuvenate this.
Do you see a lot of the other countries represented by younger people?
Yes.
Is it more popular
Yes.
among younger people?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
PRV.
Yeah,
because they're not playing open.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I guess first of all they have a longer history of bocce. If you take, let's say, the Italians, they've got over 100,000 members, and they're working with schools, and they're having problems too, getting the younger people. But you do have a lot of younger people than we do. I've done the bocce with high schools just before the COVID, and had about 60 kids, that came after their schools at 3:30. We had 8 different schools coming in. We had tournaments for them. But what happens here in North America is bocce's not famous, not popular. So, they come, they play the tournament, they leave high school, they go to Egypt, and then you lose them. Then what happens, hopefully, now I got a few coming back, now that they've got a job, they're married. So I got a few that are coming back that I coached back when they were 16 years old, that they went to play in the international tournaments. So the thing is, in North America, there's so many other sports, and that's why we have a hard time attracting these kids. They have hockey, they have soccer, they have baseball, they have football. So that's more interesting than bocce. But once we start getting, actually, as a matter of fact, just this past week, I signed an agreement with the Bocce, Paralympic, which are going to be using our facilities coming this October. So they're already in the Paralympics, and they're going to be using our facility to play their bocce on our off hours, meaning that it's Saturday mornings 10 to 12, and then they have some tournaments on Thursday afternoons. So they got four schools that are going to be doing this. And this, the bocce is under the same umbrella as bocce, because that's in Italy. If you look at the FIB, you have the bocce, you have the petanque, you have the rafa, and you got the punto raffavolo. So us getting these guys in, we're going to get kids in. We're hoping it's going to give more visualization to the bocce itself for us.
So as you work towards these things, I mean, they're all logical, the next steps, and it's all exciting to me, especially where I'm from. I have that same. It's better these days, but for most of my life, it's just me and a bunch of old guys.
Yeah.
I hate to put it like that, but whatever. So it is great to see these advancements that are being made, and it's great to hear that we have guys like yourselves who kind of see this vision for the future. As the head of the CBA, what has been till now and in the future? What has been the biggest your biggest challenge in getting to where you want to be?
I guess. Well, the first thing is getting sponsors. When you got the sponsors, you got the money, you could do so many things. But since we don't have any sponsors, we're very limited in that. We're thankful that we have the cities and the councilors and the mayors that back us up with our facilities, and that they permit us to do what we're doing. The biggest challenge is obviously working with the younger people, getting them involved. That's our biggest challenge because we want to rejuvenate, and we missed out. The previous federation missed out for a number of years to take those opportunities. If they would have started working on this 15, 20 years ago, we wouldn't have been in the situation we are today. So that's my biggest challenge.
Yeah. And how about yourself, John? What have you found in your first few months, and what can you foresee being your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is changing the mindset that the USBF is solely committed to PRV. And that the USBF, and my vision for it, is that we're the big umbrella. We're the tent that encompasses every modality, whether you're open or PRV, you play on hard true or dirt or synthetic, whatever your surface is and whatever your court dimensions are, we need to be that one-stop shop that warehouses all. All are welcome in the Federation. We have several clubs that partner with the Special Olympics and do great things with them that not many know about. We have several clubs also that host youth leagues and that are trying to grow their ranks into bringing that next generation of future stars like Jose and Jason up and playing, and that through this together, it's not just a cultural change, but also demonstrating to the greater bocce community in America that the USBF is committed to every modality of bocce played, not solely PRV.
Well, I think you guys are both well on your way to...
And it's great to have a partner like you. Yeah. Doesn't hurt to demonstrate or to showcase not just the PRV, the qualifier today, but that's great for the sport in general. But tournaments like these and the ones that happen across the country helps just highlight the various clubs, the eclectic groups of people that come together, and the camaraderie, because this is a sport that, even in its inception, was a peasant's game, was a game that brought communities together to play. They got outlawed twice by 2 different popes because, we were having too much fun and there was too much gambling and drinking and not enough work getting done. So, in the essence of the sport and its sports history, it's been about bringing people together. And that's why it's great to have a partner like Alberto here to the north of us, and that's why our relationship is important and special, not just to the USBF, but to the greater bocce community in general.
Yep.
That's a beautiful message.
I just wanted to sign off by saying I want to thank you, Mike, for inviting us, first of all.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Your work is really appreciated. I know my bocce friends in Montreal are watching. I know some international people are watching. And you guys are putting bocce on the map, and you're to be commended.
Absolutely.
The other thing I want to say, I want to wish John and the USA delegation a very nice tournament at the Worlds. We are going to be rooting for you because you're representing North America, you're representing us, and we wish you all the best. I want to congratulate Anthony and Courtney and Jose. I'm sure you guys will do good and put us on the map.
Very good.
Well said. Always a pleasure talking to you guys. Thank you for joining us. You're welcome to stick around for the game if you want, or if you want to, go
I'll probably
walk around.
I can stick around another 15 minutes or so. We'll see if we can when we get in the game.
Okay, great. Well, I will take us off the camera so we don't have to look at ourselves anymore.
There you go.
Pretty back and forth game here. Saw a great last ball from Nick Emo to beat that point. Emo, until that point, they had only scored once, 3-point frame, when Billy Barnett shot a ball out actually around this area on the court for 3 earlier in the game. Besides that, it's been 1 at a time for Palazzo. The score on the scoreboard, it says 4-4, so maybe I guess I got to update mine here. So a second ball for Emo's Pizza.
Oh, nice.
Nice ball.
Nice.
Paulino might be on the move here.
Yeah, Jason's been shooting well this weekend.
Yeah, he made a couple of fantastic shots in our games. Stuck the ball right in place.
Probably helps when you get to practice with Jose, right?
Yeah.
Well, just like that.
Yeah, right. Just put the bad juju on him.
Always happens.
God love him, and he's a friend. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, but you got Pat right behind him. He's a Canadian All-Star.
Looks good.
Yeah, he might beat this point.
Yeah. Oh.
So, Alberto, you guys were able to beat Palazzo. Is there a secret? You just got to play really well?
We ran out of gas in this game. We're mentally fatigued. We had a nice game in the first one. It came out to 12-11. We played them in the first round in North America, in Montreal. We won that game, and we ended up losing to them in the semifinals. So they are a great team. Obviously, these are their home courts. And when you got Jose on the team, obviously, it helps a lot.
Sure.
It helps a lot.
Sure.
But we love we love playing them. I mean, we play more or less the same type of game. Being PRV. So it's a challenge game, back and forth. There are different type of strategies with them that we try to use. Obviously, in doubles, we use a different strategy because we're two, so we put the Polino short and then work, bringing the Polino down to the boards because Jose would stop the balls. So our strategy take the Polino down to the boards. On the 4-on-4, unfortunately, we played the long game and we didn't succeed in our pointing.
Andy. Andy.
Oh,
great
boy,
shot, Billy.
Andy.
Oh, he actually hit the wrong ball, didn't he? Yeah, it works though. Cleared out both the Palazzo's balls. That ball did kick weird right over to Andy.
Yep.
So,
play for two.
One ball back for each team? Or is Emo's out of balls?
No, Bill has a ball in hand.
Oh, yeah. It's Palazzo out of balls.
Yeah.
Last ball of the frame.
Wow.
Looks like two.
6-4. Emo's only has to win once. They're undefeated. Palazzo's got to beat them twice.
Still not easy. 6-4, yeah, for Emos. But when you got Jose at the other end, the game is never over.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you play a little different strategy when you play against them. What's the difference?
The strategy with them was obviously today we tried the long game and it didn't work out for us. In the doubles, we tried the short game and we ended up losing 12-10, but he made a great shot there too where he stopped the ball and made 4 points. The strategy with him is put the Polino short. If we put a good point, we have him shoot and then take the Polino down.
Yeah, it seems like the strategy against Jose almost always involves shooting the Polino at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Have you had the pleasure?
Yep. So my doubles partner, Chris Cardello, and I have played Hunter and Jose and Jason and Jose over the years, and it always involves taking the Polino down. I mean, with him and his ability to hit and stick, you have to find ways to create opportunities for points. Otherwise, he's a once-in-a-generational player.
Yeah, you can't just rely on him to make a mistake, right?
Never.
Actually, he won the Campioni 2 years ago, and by beating Bianchi, Formicone, and some of the top European champions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in the semis.
And I was listening to commentating, and they were really impressed with Jose's ability to shoot underhand and stick. Not many Italian players could do that. It's all got to do with the synchronization in his system and style. coming from Argentina. There are a lot of good volo shooters, but Jose really sparked up his game lately with his pointing because he was always a good shooter. But in the past 5 or 6 years, from what I've seen, he's improved in his pointing. That's what the Italians were saying too. So now he's a threat for Italy also.
He's got a good chance in Turkey.
I think so.
Oh, very much so.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, if he got second in 2015 and he won the Campione.
Yeah, he's got a very good chance. The only thing I don't like about that competition is those 8 frames. Is that it's a different game.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you think about this, John, but if I can be in that conference by Zoom, I would like to state that we should maybe go back to the traditional game. I understand them want to put 8 frames because possibly going to the Olympics, but to keep it within the 45 minutes for TV viewing. But we're not there yet.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why that was put in. Because I was talking to some of the people on the technical committee with the CBI, and I asked them that same question, and that's what they told me. It says, but let's work on that once we are admitted into the Olympics. Let's bring back the traditional game to 12 points and play the regular bocce.
I'm with you.
So I don't know how the other countries feel about that, but I think that should be discussed.
And if you consider a deficit of 3 by frame 4, 5, even 6 becomes you're pressing. It adds stress and anxiety to a game where you may end up losing 7-6 or 6-5.
Exactly. And then you're playing another game that you got to shoot the Polino, or you got to make some ridiculous play that you wouldn't make just if you get some luck to make those extra points because you're so far behind. And then you see, well, it's not the best play because it's harder to make those type of plays. So when spectators are looking at this, they don't understand. They don't understand why is he doing this.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Looks good.
Well, it seems to me, I'm fairly new to the international competition, but it seems to me like the CBI is not averse to adopting new rules. Do you think, do they, it seems like they get a lot of input from, like a lot of the rules are based on, they cater towards the Italians or the South Americans.
Yes.
Do you think us North Americans have much of a say?
First of all, nobody here in North America is on the actual board of the CBI technical committee, which is a question I asked. And they told me that we can submit a name if we want somebody on the technical board. That's one of the reasons. The other reason is geared towards those federations that, I guess, pay a higher fee to the CBI, which is Italy and Switzerland and probably Turkey, and that's why they have the most say. And they're the ones that really drive the whole CBI.
What's that like? I mean, you guys regularly communicate with the CBI. Does that, like, I know, for example, Danny Passalia, former president and current vice president, he speaks several different languages. Is that a prerequisite to kind of being a part of that group, or?
I wouldn't say it's
not particularly.
It would be it's nice to have, obviously. I mean, but it's not a prerequisite. To me, a prerequisite should be people that know technically the game, have the experience, and have some vision of how to improve it. That would be one of the assets. Obviously, speaking 3 languages is a plus.
So do you communicate, when you communicate with the CBI, is it in English?
Well, I can do it in 3 languages. I speak Italian, I speak English, and I speak French. But with Mutlu, it's basically in English. But we worked on some standardization of courts that we didn't have. Because to get our courts done, they had put a carpet in our facilities, which was not, standard because the ball would jump all over the place. So basically, I reached out to CBI because we wanted a standard document on what a bocce court should be, in order to be conform to CBI rules. And so they had a document they worked on in Italian, and I actually helped them out in doing the translation to the English version, so we can get that to our city to get this, approved in order to get these bocce courts.
I'm curious how much the CBI is really, I did say we were going to get back to the game, but now I have all these questions I keep thinking. I'm curious how much the CBI is in touch with, like, the American scene and how aware they are of the open tournament circuit. And
I mean, as far as it goes, because Rafa is the predominant modality that's played over there, they see open differently than we see open. So they don't see the value in the sport that we do.
Yeah.
In that,
even as potentially as a vehicle, like you guys talked about, towards.
it may be a vehicle here, but it's not getting much traction over there.
Yeah.
It just simply isn't, because Rafa is such a major. It is the modality that is played, and it's the standard for them there.
Yeah. The other thing is that the bocce, or the FIB, the Italian Federation, is recognized by the Italian Olympic Committee. So therefore, being recognized by the Italian Olympic Committee, there's money there too, and they're all into the rules. You don't see really in Italy, or I haven't seen all the times I've been to Italy or played the tournaments in Italy, anywhere where they play the open rules.
Right, ever. And there's no grassroots effort or no vehicles to promote open over there.
I've seen it in the parks and in the vineyard in Italy, and that's it. Well, you can't really pick PRV in the vineyard, right?
No, right. But as far as organically through the clubs or the youth sports or the movement there's just no traction.
So CBI is, FIB is the Italian,
Federazione Italiana Bocce.
and then the CBI is the international.
Confederation.
Confederation Boccistica Internazionale.
Well, let's see. Looks like 3 points there.
9-6.
for
9-6 for
Palazzo.
Palazzo.
Palazzo does have to win twice. 3 more points and we'll see a second game.
Good ball.
Nice ball by Hunter.
Yeah. Hunter's pointing well.
Yeah, he's pointed really well.
These teams are playing for $10,000.
Nice hit, Nick. Nick, of course, came up with Greg Della Croce and played in the doubles tournament up here.
Yes,
I believe they came in third.
that's right.
Yeah. Lost to you guys, Alberto, right? Yeah. So he has experience on these courts. He's a great up-and-coming player.
Yeah, he's a very nice kid too.
Even better person.
I can confirm. I saw him wearing a BBN shirt earlier today, so he's good in my book. No, very gracious host. Everybody, when I got to go down to St. Louis for nationals, very nice people.
Yeah,
Beautiful
fantastic
club.
It's our neighbor club in the state. It's our brother club. We're on the west side of the state in Kansas City, and the IABC. There we go, Nick.
Might get fortunate here.
Hey,
Yeah,
sure did.
Not often you see a great shot and a great roll with one ball.
Yeah, nice shot by Nick.
Do you get a sense of what it is about the open game that they kind of look down on? The luck aspect?
Yeah,
yeah.
big time. You know, the slop, the bump and
Um,
run, the use of the walls to come off and bank.
Yeah. There's some skill in some of those shots.
Oh,
right?
no. I see tremendous skill. There's a lot of skill
Right.
in the shots here. I mean, for us, but to them, it's just a different beast altogether. A different animal.
To them, I remember speaking to Dante D'Alessandro back in the 90s, and one of the campioni, one of the big-time players. And he told me, I mentioned about Rome, New York, and the open rules. It says, Dante, you know, there's a tournament, $10,000, you know, in Rome, New York. He says, once you, says to me, he says, you know what, Albert, he says, you go play in a tournament like that, he says, a blind guy and a guy with a cane can beat you. That's what he told me.
But that's the culture that, you know, with their thoughts on Rafa being the purest form of the game. And, you know, although we don't see it in that same light.
You think that'll ever change? You think there's a way to?
I think if they begin seeing international competitions or friendlies between Canada and the United States and the number of players that we're bringing in and are able to help commit to this modality, I would hope that it would at least pique their interest into potentially doing more on that front.
I'm sure they are. I know that they also watch this, and they probably, some of them don't understand it because they're all PRV and why we're doing this or how we're playing this. But you know, it gives a lot of players the opportunity to play in this type of format. PRV is a lot more difficult, and that's why some people, you know, don't have the time to practice like they do, because most of these guys there, like Formicone, D'Alessandro, and all the great players, Benedetti, that's a full-time job for them. They're, you know, they're paid year-round to do this. Here, you know, nobody's going to pay you $100,000 to go play bocce. So,
right. Or like you said earlier, John, we just don't have the facilities in this country. I mean, we got maybe 6 or 7, 8 facilities in the U.S. where we can play PRV.
Yeah, and this is one where the court surface, the court dimensions are important because of the way that we look to compete internationally. We have to prepare our PRV players. Wow. Vince Mancuso.
Big frame for Emos.
3 points.
Yes. Tie it back up.
9-9. 9-9. I wonder what the betting line was on Emos.
That's a good question.
Shout out to Rocco running the parimutuel betting. Again, 4 guys that have never played together. I mean, individually they might have played, you know, a couple of them. I know Nick and Vince have played together before. I think Billy and I imagine Billy and Brian have played together. But I know this specific group of 4 guys has never played together before. But if they can take down Palazzo 777, hard to imagine that we won't see them together again.
Yeah, no kidding.
Definitely.
Jason Wisniewski.
Another great shot by Jason.
Nice
Dog
ball. Beautiful.
Nice ball again by Brian.
Yep.
A little bit behind. This is a big ball in this game from Pat. Especially on this side of the court. I would imagine that part of the strategy, possibly, when you're playing against Jose, when it's no walk like this, 2 guys on each side, is maybe to limit the damage on Jose's side and then try and score the points on the other side. It could be one way to approach it. So,
yeah, well, you try to you know, put your better players at that end and try to keep them to minimum points, and hopefully the other guys, you know, will pick up on it on the other side. But they have, you know, they've been playing great on the other side too. So
good ball, Pat.
Right, the other side is, you know. They're
And
as
you
good
need
a
some
team as
breaks too.
anybody.
Now, it depends what kind of shot he makes here.
Bill's
But
going to shoot. Yeah.
yeah,
Clean,
great shot.
Bill Barnett.
Nice
Seneca
ball, Bill.
Falls, New York. My dad's family's from Seneca Falls.
All right, shout out Seneca Falls again.
You played there, right,
Yeah.
Albert?
Yeah.
St. Anthony's?
Yeah, many years ago.
The festival there in the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
That's the first tournament I ever played as a kid. I was 12 years old.
Look short.
Short, 1 point sitting there. One ball back, Bill Barnett.
Oh boy.
Bill's looking for a way in.
That's kind of tricky on that side because the ball dips.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys see here?
Yeah, you don't want to sell here for sure.
Yeah.
But you want to get that second point. You want to make it to 11.
You just came off this court. Where would you go?
I would go between the two balls, the one next to the boards and the other one, the two
Correct.
whites.
I would try to play a carom off the wall.
Yeah.
And thread the needle in between the ball along the wall in the middle one.
Or play right along the rondine and it'll open up there and pass between the two balls.
Yeah, would you play up on the wall to come back down between the two balls, or just go straight at it? It's like Billy's going straight.
I think he goes. He's going straight at it.
Uh-oh.
But he might pass. He might pass.
Oh, look at Bill.
Bill Barnett.
He took a chance and it worked out.
He sure did.
Yeah.
He sure did, and that's what wins these games sometimes.
That's right. Sometimes you got to take those chances, especially against
With a
this
team, I was just about to say, you're right, Alberto. Against a team like Jose's.
Yeah, we did that too. We had a frame here we had 3 in, and we had my son shoot the ball. If he hits that one, we were up 2-0. We could have went up 5 or 6. Unfortunately, he missed it.
Oh,
But those are the chances you need to take. 'Cause
always.
just fighting 1 point at a time, I think at the end you're going to run short.
Vince Mancuso. Got to put the pressure on.
I think he did. Oh, dig a little.
Yeah, and they're using that strategy along the wall so that if Jose, they put a nice ball in the front and Jose shoots, there's a risk that the Polino's going to go down with with their ball.
There's the added.
Yeah, so you get that advantage. As if it's in the middle of the court, he's probably going to stop it.
Yeah.
And your chances are that you're not going to make any points.
Slim to none.
All right, that makes sense. You got more chance of
Exactly,
ricochet on
exactly.
Paulino with the wall there.
That's another strategy that we try to use. Obviously here it's a very delicate situation. If Hunter curves it in behind that ball, then it's going to be tough for Imo's Pizza.
Yeah.
The balls do pull into the wall here on the court. I think
Yes.
Hunter can
Yeah.
walk kind of down it.
Yeah, and they know the court. They know where they got to line.
It's probably going straight at it. Going to break right to left on your screen. Here
He's
comes
got
the
the
It should
break.
speed.
start
Yeah.
diving.
He's
He's got
got-
little speed.
He's got the right
Just a
speed.
dip.
It's
Yep.
a good
See
ball.
it dive there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Hunter Galero, it's in the open.
but I wouldn't shoot that. I'd probably play
No.
off the ball on the
Play your
wall
ball.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Play your ball. It's got to move up about 40, 28 inches, about 20, 24
Yeah.
inches, 2 feet.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking in terms of the qualifier. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the stick.
The centimeters.
I'm in the metric system. So about 2 feet. If he can move it about 18 inches to 2 feet.
And even if he hits half, maybe he might bring 2 in.
Good.
Vince Mancuso. Could be his last ball of the tournament. He's got something.
Oh, looks good. Looks good.
2.
Peel for
There
2.
you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
Alberto. Peel for 2.
As puts
Beautiful
Palazzo in a
ball,
tough
Vince.
spot. You
Yeah.
think they'll roll on this? Because if
No.
Jose shoots,
I think Jose might shoot the
I
2
do.
balls in the front.
yeah.
Yeah, because he's got, unless he can see the Polino clear and take the
I think
Polino
you can
down.
see Polino.
Because if he doesn't hit the Polino, it's useless just shooting the ball. They still get the other point.
Maybe a little Rondina shot.
Probably.
On the
Little
Polino?
doesn't need a fully, yeah. Underhanded.
Yeah, if he goes underhand, he's going to be shooting the Polino. So yeah, there he goes.
Yeah.
Up to Rondina. Oh, not quite.
Yeah, now they're.
This is a big call.
Yeah.
I know he's not missing twice, but they have to.
Yeah, the other team still has 2 balls back. So.
They do. And I wonder if they're contemplating how clean the Polino will come off as to whether it will be on the same side of the wall as his ball will fall.
Yeah, that's kind of hard. That's going to be the same side of the wall because you get hit it full. Oh, they're gonna try to lean on the ball,
lay.
which is a good call, I think.
Oh, Hunter knows the spot.
But he can't be short.
No, short's no good here. And he's
That
not.
looks good. Might be short.
Oh,
And
he
he's
did
short.
come short. The wall ate up his speed.
Yeah, that wall sucks it in there, and it kind of slows down.
Wow. 2 balls back for Emo's Pizza.
Yeah, now what do you do? Now I guess he's got to play the same thing.
He's got to come with some steam.
I don't know.
He's got.
Emo's Pizza. Your 2024 ABC Open champions. 12-9 over Palazzo 777 in the finals.
Couldn't be happier for them.
Billy Barnett, Brian Polance, Vince Mancuso, Nick Emo. Congratulations, fellas. And congratulations, of course, Palazzo 777.
Congrats, St. Louis, Ohio, Seneca Falls.
There you go. We take them for granted, Palazzo 777, but what they do is not easy.
I'm signing off. Thanks for having us, Mike. I know Andy's going to bring down the interview with the champions.
Thank you very much,
appreciate you again, and Alberto, appreciate you as well.
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate being with you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
See you again.
See ya.
President John Liberto and President Alberto Guererra. Thank you, gentlemen. We will have a word with the champions very shortly here. Emo's Pizza, 4977 Forest Park Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri.